Hi YouTube, it's Yaroslav and Philosophy Man YouTube channel. It's been another big delay in deploying this video because there is a lot of stuff happening in my life. I also managed to get sick and to damage my vocal cords, so I hope you hear at least something. And it is most probable that the next video will be already in September, because as I said, a lot of is going on. I had this idea of recording few videos devoted to Star Wars for some time. Actually, the podcast about Star Wars was one of my first Russian-speaking video on this channel. But at that time I was the apologist of metaphysics in analyzing culture. And that podcast was more a parody because the idea of video was proving that there are no metaphysical ideas in Star Wars, and it is impossible to analyze that piece of popular culture in the style of this channel. However, now I made a great distance from my initial ideas, and Star Wars seems much more perspective and promising material for the analysis of my channel at this stage, at least. So I want to try it. My old idea, it's called the Divine Triade in the classical Star Wars. So the classical Star Wars trilogy is that released in the end of the 70s, the beginning of the 80s. The Return of the Jedi, Empire Strikes Back, New Hope, and so on. And it has, of course, very strong resemblance to the classical mythological epos. In my previous video on Star Wars, I already mentioned that George Lucas, the author of this setting, the author of the universe of the Star Wars, officially confirmed that he used the famous work by anthropologists, the 1000 Faces Hero. It is a book about comparing different epic myths of different tribes and nations, proving that they actually have one unitary structure behind the details. And it is proved in this book for the myth about a hero. The hero is usually not a god, he is a half-god or a chosen one. And the typical hero myth is Hercules, Heracles, Kalevala, King Arthur, and so on. However, this book is just one glimpse of the big industry, so to say, of comparing the myths, which is part of the cultural anthropology. And Star Wars, though recreating the myth, the monomyth about the hero, Luke Skywalker is a typical Hercules-like hero. He has a father figure, Han Solo. He has a mentor figure, Obi-Wan Kenobi, who is a spiritual guide from the profane world to the sacred world. And he makes heroic deeds in his path to the spiritual enlightenment, from the profane existence to the existence in the world of gods, maybe returning to the profane existence to make it better using the device or an idea he got in the sacred world. So typical monomyth, heroic monomyth. However, I want to talk not so much about Luke Skywalker, but about his father figures. Star Wars has few characters that are more of a divine nature. This, of course, is Darth Vader, who is a typical evil deity, like Kronos, like Vaal, and so on. And there is Han Solo, who is being a father figure, is sort of a Zeus type, so he is a hero, he is powerful, but he is also the person who is engaged into human activity, who has compassion and who loves and is being tempted by the mundane activities, so to say. Then Darth Vader, as I said, is more like a Kronos, something chaotic, something evil, something extremely powerful. And Palpatine, Emperor Palpatine, is maybe a chthonic god, maybe Uranus. So what I say next from the point of view of the true Christian of any confession is the pure heresy. But we have the same Divine Triade, the chosen one, Zeus, who is a patron of a hero, then the elder gods, and holds sort of the Holy Spirit. This Divine Triad is also in the Christian myth. So we may say that there is a structure, like structuralist Prop said about the magical fairy tale. There is a structure of a divine triad in Bible and in other religions, present in the Star Wars original trilogy. When I was a little kid, I read some adapted myth, and I always was fascinated by these elder gods, so to say, those who were before the Zeus, so even before the Kronos. Some myths that we do not know much about, chaotic evil forces, and of course the Palpatine is one of the best depictions of this chaos in the popular culture. As to the Vader, his status changes as the franchise develops. In the original Star Wars, he was, of course, a formidable villain, but then we know that he's just a champion of some stronger force. Together with that, there is a certain rivalry between him and Palpatine. But in fact, if we turn to the classic myths, we can see that actually Kronos is just the continuation of Uranus, while Zeus is getting his independence through the rebellion towards Uranus. And the Golden Age myth of a hero is the continuation of this rebellion of the younger gods against elder gods, against chaotic forces that created them. And it is interesting to talk about it in the context of more Heracles figure, Luke Skywalker, but this is an idea for the next video. Thank you, I hope you've enjoyed my content. Goodbye.